إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة وكشف الله به الغمة، وتركنا على المحجة البيضاء ليلها كنهارها لا يزيغ عنها إلا هالك. اللهم أجزه خير ما جازيت نبيا عن أمته. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الكلام كلام الله، وخير الهدي هدي نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة في الدين بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد، أوصيكم ونفسي أيها الأحبة. I advise myself and I advise you, my brother, taqwa Allah, to fear Allah wherever you are, anytime, any place. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد, first of all, my brothers, I congratulate myself, I congratulate you, and congratulate all Muslims in the globe, everywhere, that we reached the 10 days of Hajj, Ashri Dhul Hijjah. I am not going to speak about Ashri Dhul Hijjah because I am sure my brothers who gave khutba last Friday and the Friday before that, they have covered the Ashri Dhul Hijjah. But I will cover today all ritual of Hajj, everything concerning Hajj. First of all, there are 3 types of Hajj. The Muslim must educate himself before he initiates Hajj. There are 3: Tamattu' and Qiran and Ifrad. So it is up to you as a Muslim to select or choose what type of ritual you want to perform Hajj. Tamattu' is to perform Umrah before Hajj. During the months of Hajj, which is Shawwal, Dhul Qa'dah and Dhul Hijjah. These are 3 months of Hajj. When you go there to Mecca and you perform Umrah, after you finish Sa'i and Tawaf, of course, you can shorten your hair and resume your normal life. You can go back to your normal clothes, and you wait until Hajj, then you initiate Hajj again. What you've done is Umrah, and you have to slaughter Qurban in Mecca, Hadi, for this Tamattu'. Qiran, you combine Umrah and Hajj together. So you can go today or tomorrow to Mecca and perform Umrah, but you don't cut your hair. You stay in your ihram because you have combined Umrah and Hajj. And you have to slaughter Qurban also or Hadi in Mecca. Single Hajj is Ifrad. If there is a time to go Mecca and make Tawaf al-Qudum and Sa'i al-Hajj, is better. But if you delay or postpone your trip to Mecca on the 9th to Arafah, still acceptable. But the sunnah that the pilgrimage, Hujjaj, they much better from the sunnah point of view to go to Mina on the 8th of Hajj and perform Salah Dhuhr and Asr and Maghrib and Isha and Fajr the day of 9th of Hajj. This is the sunnah. They call the 8th of Hajj is the Yawm al-Tarwiyah. Tarwiyah means seeking water, bringing water. During Prophet ﷺ, there is no water in Mina. So Rasulullah ﷺ used to send some companions to Mecca, and their leader was Al-Abbas, to bring some water to a Hujjaj so they can make wudu and drink during Hajj. So that's why they call the 8th of Hajj Yawm al-Tarwiyah, seeking water or bringing water to Mina. So the sunnah that you go on the 8th of Hajj to Mina and perform Salat Dhuhr and Asr and Maghrib and Isha and Fajr on the 8th, not on the 9th of Hajj. During the 9th of Hajj you proceed to Arafat. And then the sunnah of Rasulullah, he went and he stayed in a place they call Namira. There is a very huge mosque in Arafah. But it is not obligatory that every Hajj must go to Namira, because it won't be able to accommodate all Hajjaj. It is sunnah. Rasulullah he said, I stood here at Namira, but all Arafat is a standing point. So you don't have to jeopardize yourself, to hurt yourself that no, I have to go to Namira. Stay any place in Arafat until Dhuhr comes, then you make adhan and do iqamah. You combine Dhuhr and Asr together, but 2 rak'ah Dhuhr and 2 rak'ah Asr. And then you stay in Arafah until sunset. And you must, my brother, utilize the time between Asr and until sunset in dua, reading Quran. Don't waste your time in the day of Arafah on mobile, shattering, side talk, giving your life story to your brother. This is not the time, this is not the place. Neither the time, neither place for these things. It is the time for dua, out of your heart, deeply out of your heart, for yourself, for your family, for the whole Muslim all over the world. Yes, my brother. The time of Arafah or the day of Arafah is not a regular day. It is a very golden minutes and golden seconds. Don't waste it. Make dua, read the Quran until sunset. Then after sunset, then you can proceed to Muzdalifah. But there is one thing I want to make it very clear to you, my brothers, that going to the mountain is not obligatory. It's not even sunnah to go to the mountain of Arafah. Many Hujjaj, they jeopardize their safety. They hurting themselves, they're bothering themselves going to the mountain, climbing the mountain, and it is absolutely not sunnah. There is no special reward from Allah if you climb the mountain. People anywhere in Arafah or on the top of the mountain, they are the same. As a matter of fact, the people who went to the mountain, they committing innovation, bid'ah. So no need to go to the mountain. Maybe some of you hear that Rasulullah ﷺ, after he performed Salat Dhuhr and Asr together in Namira, then after After Asr, he went to the mountain, but he did not climb the mountain. Rasulullah stood, he ride his camel, al-Qaswa, and he went to the mountain, and he kept the mountain behind his back. And he was facing Mecca. He did not climb the mountain. Because the shade, he stood in the shade until sunset. And he was making dua all the time. And his tears was falling his beard. Even his camel was weeping, crying. So going up to the mountain is not obligatory, it's not even sunnah. As a matter of fact, it is innovation, bid'ah. Then after sunset, Rasulullah proceeded to Muzdalifah. And this is what all Muslims should do. Don't depart Arafah before sunset. And then when Rasulullah reached Muzdalifah, he asked someone to make adhan. So Rasulullah combined Maghrib and Isha. Of course, Maghrib is 3 rak'ah. Maghrib you don't make short rak'ah for Maghrib. Should stay as it is 3 rak'ah. And then he make iqamah, or he asked the same person who made adhan to make iqamah, and then he performed Salat al-Isha in congregation with his companion. Because Rasulullah when he performed Hajj, there were with him about 100,000 people. And then he slept, Rasulullah. This is the sunnah. But it's no harm that you don't sleep for a while. If you want to take dinner, you want to make coffee, tea, no problem. And then you should sleep because you have a long day next day. You have too much work. So after Fajr after he performed Salatul Fajr in Muzdalifah, also said, I stood here in Muzdalifah. There is no special place in Muzdalifah you must go. Because still some people believe they must go to the mosque in Muzdalifah. They call Al-Mash'ar al-Haram. Yes, Rasulullah did go there. But you don't have to go there. Any place in Muzdalifah. As a matter of fact, even if you want to go to a mosque, because of the crowd you cannot go. And there is no need. There is no need to go to the mosque, Al-Mash'ar al-Haram. Then after he performed Salatul Fajr and the first light come of the morning, he proceeded with his companion to Mina. And this is the sunnah, you should sleep in Muzdalifah. But Rasulullah gave permission to the weak people, to the sick people, to the ladies, and anyone who is in charge of ladies and children, he gave them permission to depart from Muzdalifah after midnight, 12:30, when the moon set. And this is what Rasul, he gave permission ﷺ to some people to leave Muzdalifah after midnight. So if you are one of those people who need help or sick, or you need to depart for valid reason, yes, you can leave Muzdalifah after midnight. There is one thing also I want to make it clear for you before I conclude my first khutbah. No need to pick up a jamarat from Muzdalifah. There is no evidence whatsoever that you have to pick up jamarat from Muzdalifah. This is absolutely not true. You can pick up jamarat from Mina. As a matter of fact, you can take your jamarat here from Jeddah. You can take it with you. Not only that, people coming from west or east or south or or north, they can bring them from America, from Europe, from India, from anywhere. You can bring your jamarat with you. There is no evidence that jamarat, the peoples, have to be picked up from Muzdalifah. But if you did take the first day, if you pick up for the first day, it's still no harm. But is it obligatory? I take jamarat from Muzdalifah? The answer is no. It's not obligatory. أقول ما تسمعون وأستغفر الله لكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا كما ينبغي لوجه ربنا وعظيم سلطانه، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Now we talk about the ritual in Mina. On the first day of staying in Mina, which is the 10th of Hajj, Hujjaj must proceed to Al-Jamrat Al-Aqaba while they're still keeping their tongue, with saying Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik, Labbaik Allah. As a matter of fact, from the time you leave your home here in Jeddah or wherever you're coming from, you should continue Labbaik until you through Jamrat Al-Aqaba, which is on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah. There is no Eid for Hujjaj. The Hujjaj, they don't have to go perform Salat al-Eid. There is no obligatory, it is not an obligation or obligatory on Hujjaj, the pilgrimage, the people perform Hajj, to go and perform Salat al-Eid. As a matter of fact, the mosque, which is, they call it Al-Khayf in Mina, they don't pray Salat al-Eid. They only pray Dhuhr and Asr separate in Mina. There is no Eid in Mina. And you don't have to go to Mecca to perform Salat al-Eid. Allah is forgiving Hujjaj from Salat al-Eid. So you go to Jamrat al-Aqaba while you're saying Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik, Labbaik la sharika lak Labbaik, inna al-hamda wa ni'mata laka wal mulk la sharika lak. After you throw, then you shave your hair and or slaughter your Qurban al-Hadi for the people who performing Tamattu' and the people who performing Qiran. Single, no slaughtering, no Qurban. Then you can go to your camp and resume your normal life. You can take a bath and then you take your normal clothes, and that's it. If you want to go to Mecca in the same day, it is permissible to go to Mecca and perform Tawaf al-Hajj, but it is still is not must. You can postpone Tawaf al-Ifadah, Tawaf al-Hajj, until the day you want to depart Mecca. If you want to leave on the 12th, if you are intended to leave Mecca or Mina on the 12th, you're not going to stay until 13th, it is permissible. فمن تعجل في يومين فلا إثم فمن تعجل في يومين فلا إثم عليه ومن تأخر فيه فلا إثم لمن اتقى, which is better to stay in the 13th. But if you leave Mina on the 12th, you must leave Mina before sunset. If you are intending to come back home on the 12th, then you should leave Mina before sunset. But it is not also obligatory that you go to Jamarat at noon, whether the 12th or 13th. You can go to Jamarat anytime between Asr and Maghrib, in the cool time. So, if you want to stay in Mina until the 13th, also you can postpone Tawaf al-Ifadah and Tawaf al-Hajj until the 13th. When you go to Mecca, when you go to Haram to perform Tawaf al-Ifadah, you can make one Tawaf for both, for farewell Tawaf and Tawaf Hajj. Tawaf al-Ifadah and Tawaf al-Wada', one Tawaf will compensate for two. You don't have to make two Tawaf. One Tawaf is for both. Wada', farewell, and Tawaf al-Hajj. Okay. Now we talk about the Jamarat. You have finished on the 10th, only one Jamara, Al-Aqaba, the one very close to Mecca. On the 11th, you have to throw Jamarat for 3 Jamarat. The small Jamara, the middle Jamara, and the large or big Jamara, or Jamrat Al-Aqaba. Each Jamara should be thrown by 7 people. And the size of the pebbles only as the size of the peas. Not big rock like some people believe they have. They think the shaitan is standing there and they throw it with their slippers, shoes, stones. You know, they believe he's there. We should follow the sunnah. The pebbles or jamarat must not exceed the pea size. 7, the first jamara or the small jamara. 7, the middle jamara. And 7 for the big jamara or Jamrat al-Aqaba. This is the same for the 11th, 12th and 13th. If you have done Jamrat al-Aqaba on the 10th of Hajj, you have done what you call the first release, at-tahallul al-awwal. You can resume your normal life except approaching your wife. But if you go to Mecca and you have done tawaf al-ifada, everything is permissible for you, even your wife. This is very important to know. This is in general, my brothers, about the Hajj, inshallah, from the 8th of Hajj until the 13th of Hajj. May Allah help us all, inshallah ta'ala, to perform, the best worshipping during these 10 days. Because my brother, these 10 days is not regular days, it's not normal days. So you must utilize every second, every minute of these 10 days for the sake of Allah. اللهم يا رب العالمين نسألك بأسمائك الحسنى وصفاتك العلى. اللهم يا رب أعنا على شكرك وذكرك وحسن عبادتك في هذه العشر وفي كل وقت يا رب العالمين. اللهم يا رب تقبل الحجاج حجهم. اللهم اجعل لهم حجا مبرورا وسعيا مشكورا وتجارة لن تبور. اللهم عدهم إلى أهليهم وأوطانهم يا رب سالمين غانمين مغفور لهم يا رب العالمين. اللهم أعنا على شكرك وذكرك وحسن عبادتك. اللهم يا رب العالمين اجعلنا يا رب العالمين مما سمع قوله فاتبع أحسنه يا رب العالمين. Before I finish, my brother, I would like to remind you also on fasting the day of Arafat. Don't miss the day of Arafat, my brother, because Rasulullah said, I hope that Allah will forgive you for 2 years. Only one day of Arafat. If you fast, Rasulullah said, أحسب على الله أن يكفر السنة والسنة الماضية. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم اصلح أبناءنا وبناتنا يا رب العالمين. حبب إليهم الإيمان لأنه في قلوبهم. كره إليهم الكفر والفسوق والعصيان يا رب العالمين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وادخلنا الجنة مع الأبرار يا عزيز يا غفار. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا يا رب بما فعل السفهاء منا. اللهم لا تؤاخذنا بما فعل السفهاء منا. اللهم حبب لأبنائنا وبناتنا يا رب العالمين الإيمان. اللهم احفظ بناتنا من السفور والتبرج والسفور والخروج للأسواق بالبخور والعطور وحضور أماكن الفسق والفجور يا رب العالمين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين وأقم الصلاة.